Okay, so tonight I want to talk about black girl luxury because it seems to be a trending topic. And I want to talk about this because one of the reasons why I created Instagram accounts is because like the creator Destiny Ute, who originally made this video, said, and some of the other content creators kind of echoed the sentiment. If you are in a particular space, like you know what it is. Like if you live in a certain apartment building, if you live in a certain neighborhood, if you are around certain things, like you know what it's like. um there's just something strange that was happening with like Instagram and the influencers, where they were just trying to like pretend that they were in these spaces and living these lives that like we know that they're not living. This is another reason I continue to say, like, if you want to know like who there are black girls are living in luxury. Not everybody, right? Like I wouldn't say that like I'm living in luxury. I'm living a very like middle American life, like a right. But someone who's like I would say is living in luxury is like Lori Harvey. I continue to use her as an example because she's just like a great example. She has more than other girls, and not just black girls. Like a lot all the other girls. Like I don't even know, I can't really point to someone who has more access and privilege than her right now. It looks like Lori Harvey and Damson Idris are doing this thing where they're in Thailand together and they're posting pictures of each other. Like it's very clear that Damson is like taking these photos because he like knows how to like capture the Lori angles, and we've seen these in the past, so everybody's in the comments like, damn, like Damson gets the shot, and they're like, Lori with the flick under his. It is actually hilarious. So if you're not participating in that discourse, I think that you should be. It's very funny. Also, they're in Thailand at the exact same time. Like, bro, they are completely back together, and it's funny. But anyway, so where was I going with this? Oh, so the black girls in luxury though. This is I keep saying the same thing too. Like a lot of these like Instagrammers, the YouTubers, they all keep trying to sell you guys dreams. And I'm not saying you guys. I feel like if you found this channel, you're probably not living in like Deluluville, right? But like some other girl made a video about like how the trad wives are sending you guys into like Deluluville, and I kind of felt like, yeah, like there's something really strange that's happening with like, how can you say it, like what these influencers are trying to share with you. Like, here's the thing: traditional men exist, right? And like they're pretty much like raised to be a certain way. Like I really go back to like this the Home Alone family, right? A lot of people like unpacked it and there was articles written about it. It's like this big idea of like what the upper middle class looks like. It's like a family. They're making like $600,000 a year. They have a lot of access and a lot of privilege. But here's the thing, like, if there's one family who's making that much money and living that sort of lifestyle, they probably live in a community like, I think Warren Buffett and the other guy who made the bell curve, I think both of those people have property in some part of Massachusetts, some really wealthy, like, white part of Massachusetts. But the education system there is actually really good. It's like better than like everywhere else in America. It's like the best in the country, I believe. Anyway, so there's like a standard of living and like a culture in that place. So even maybe if you're not making $600,000 a year, there's probably another family who has like, let's say if a family who comes from that particular place has a son, right? There's some other family who's maybe making $300,000 or $200,000 a year, and they have a daughter. Those people probably know each other, right? Just because of like kind of like a happen chance. They run in the same circles, they go to the same prep schools. It's not just like two people, also that we're talking about like communities. So there's probably like a handful, a nice variety of women that these men could choose from. They are going to choose one of those women to be their wives. It's not going to be like Lucy from Ecuador, okay, who comes over on a train and then all of a sudden it's just most likely that's not going to happen. There's a possibility, but like statistically, like there's someone great in his community right now who he's going to choose, okay, and then that person's going to become a traditional housewife. The girls who are on TikTok and everything trying to show I'm not sure who they're showing it to. Like the people who are like stay at home wives and moms and shit don't like you don't need a TikTok for that lifestyle. All those girls like know each other and they already have communities. They're already following each other on Instagram. They're in all the same places. They go to all the same parties. Like you don't you don't need to really there's not a big surge. The issue is like what you guys are figuring out now, or some people. I don't. And here's the thing: I don't know why people have decided to call out black women specifically to say like um, black girl luxury is out. I would say this entire like girl luxury trend is out. It is like a whole bunch of women of all really racial groups. Everyone is like stunting for the internet about a lifestyle that they like don't have when there are real lifestyles that you could have. Like just having a job is a real lifestyle. It's not like glamorous, okay, to work for, 6 or 7 hours a day and then spend your time freely to do what you want to do. It's not glamorous to do that. But that's a real like life choice that you can make. Like that is the default. And I feel like I'm just gonna kind of conflate two topics here because they are kind of similar. But I saw that Nicki Minaj makes a song with Future, I believe it is. It says press play, and then she poses the question, why is it that people keep asking me why I couldn't be Beyonce? And then she's like, I didn't have, my dad wasn't a business owner, my mom wasn't a business owner, and she's citing those things as the reason. Those are not the reasons. Like, so there was another video compilation of other people commenting and giving feedback on why Nicki Minaj is not Beyonce. That is also a very unfair comparison to make. Comparing anyone to Beyonce is an unfair comparison to make, but especially Nicki Minaj. Those two women are so different. They're different in terms of socioeconomic class. So, like, yes, Beyonce grew up like upper middle class. Nicki Minaj did not. Also, Nicki Minaj is an immigrant. Like, she's like, isn't she Jamaican? And she talks all the time about like how, or Trinidadian or whatever. Those cultures are way different. Like, Beyonce is classic American pie, like Taylor Swift. That's why, like, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, you continue to see them like doing a whole bunch of stuff together because they represent Americana in a way that no matter what Nicki Minaj does or tries to do, she will never represent Americana. She represents Trinidad or wherever it is that she's from. In the same way, though, that like Rihanna represents Barbados, right? Or Tyla represents South Africa. Beyonce represents America. And America is richer. Beyonce is richer. Even if Beyonce's mom ran a hair salon. I mean, that's a pretty. It is a business. I'm not gonna say it's not a business, but I would assume like Nicki Minaj had some parents. I think someone was referring to like her dad being in jail or something, or her dad being away. Okay, but her mom did something. Her mom had some sort of job. So I mean, like having a job kind of is running your own business, right? You have to pay your bills somehow. So I'm not sure. Like also, Beyonce has like a crazy work ethic. Like she dropped like self-titled, bro. Like and had a like she has a creative hand in like every aspect of her brand. She's a brand, like an empire. Nicki Minaj is not like Nicki Minaj is as well. Like Nicki Minaj is a brand. She's also like an empire. It's just like Nicki Minaj is like Ice Spice. Like that's why those women collaborate and it just makes sense. It works. Like they represent like streetwear, like urban streetwear. That is like what Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice represent. Um and it is I will say like it's kind of popular because it is like well recognized. Like people know streetwear, and Nicki Minaj is very popular. Now the problem here is that like Beyonce is like an anomaly in a lot of ways. Like just most women are not upper middle class. that's a thing. Or middle class, right? Like most women are not. Most women globally, obviously, are not in a part of the American middle class with all the things that come with that. Um, and like, it's just really insulting. Like, I think that I think that Nicki Minaj is talking a lot about her body, right, and her shape and all this shit she talked on the song. I listened to the song, so it was like big booty, small booty, this, big booty, that, whatever. Like Future and Nicki Minaj, if they feel like strip club culture rappers to me. It's like the only thing that they ever talk about is like hypersexualizing each other, over sexualizing the women, hypersexualizing the men. So now everyone's just like over sexualized. And like that is the thing. So, um it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Black girl luxury is a thing, right? And I mean, if you marry a rich husband, okay, then I mean, your husband would want if shit like if your husband is straight and likes women, he'd probably want to provide for you, and providing for you means just giving you access to comfort and things that you know beautiful women like pampering and food and sleep and water, like beaches, pretty things, shit like that. So I just like I'm some things are very confusing. Like I don't know. Like I really wonder. I suppose how do we unpack, or maybe I could make another video that details how to spot a Instagram fraud who is actually not living a life that you desire, as opposed to someone who is. I mean, and the biggest question you could ask yourself is like, what is their career? If their career is nothing, like if they're like a tech girly, like that they're like a software engineer or something, or like Taylor or whatever, how she's like literally she's like a finance girl, so she's like a Wall Street girl, or like Emma, she's like a UX engineer, or like someone who's like a software engineer or something. Like that they're living a particular life because like you just know how much those career paths pay. But I'm trying to show you like a lifestyle of like I'm a waitress, so like um I don't know, like you with the bit like really anyone could become a waitress. So with like the bare minimum, you could like you could afford, you could have this lifestyle. I'm certainly not living like Lori Harvey. I can't afford all of the skin treatments, all of the like I can't afford the lifestyle that she has. Like I don't have that lifestyle. But I mean I have my lifestyle. I have stuff. Um I guess I have dinner. And right now like that's what I have. But I also would be very clear like I don't think that my lifestyle could afford children. I just like there's just not enough money. So like to be clear, I would also say that anyone who's living like my lifestyle should certainly not bring children into the world because you just don't have the money. Um, you just don't. You don't, and you need the money. And like either you have like the time or you have the money, and because you need your time to earn the money to just take care of yourself, you just don't have any additional things to give. So you like have to recognize that, and you have to how can you say it? Like you like with that, uh, oh sorry, yeah, you just have to like make the best of that. I don't know if I made sense.